folks, it's Waco Wednesday. I've done all the damage I can do for one morning. It's lunchtime and I'm done doing what I'm gonna do, so I'm headed to the Brazos, I guess. We'll see, going a long way. Gonna head right up here toward Robinson and get out Highway 6. Rock and roll, baby, rock and roll. Looks good. Relatively calm day. Looks good down on the river. Oh, it's gonna be a good day. May not catch many fish, but it's gonna be a good day. Anytime you're not fighting 20-mile-an-hour winds on the Brazos River, it's a good day. Plus, the temperature's gonna be real pleasant today. High about 78, I think. Folks down there on the point fishing. That's real deep. Real deep, real quick. This is Riverside Park. Down below the Lake Whitney Dam. Look at all these flowers. Holy smokes. Such a pretty time of year. All the new leaves on the trees are bright and green. The wildflowers, which are just thick as all get out. We've had really good timing of rain. Just enough to keep things blooming and growing, and not so much that it floods everything out. And look at these patches. Look at that stuff. Boy, it's as thick as it gets. Look at that. Flowers everywhere. Talk about Kentucky bluegrass. Well, we got Texas bluebonnets, and they're really blue. They stand out a lot. Look at that, isn't that pretty? The short drive is just so pretty. Take it slow, man. Take it slow. Don't mess up. Take the usual precautions. Warning, beware of violent, turbulent, and rapid changes in water level. That is not going to happen today. They have not generated power or let any water out in months because the lake is still 5 feet low. We have not received enough rain to do anything. My usual parking spot, and off we go, folks. I'm getting a little suspicious of my braided furrowed leaders, so I'm going to go ahead and tie me up a good fluorocarbon leader, long one, about 8 foot long, starting with 10-pound test down to 6 for today. I'm just not been real happy with the results I've been getting lately in my fishing, other than big fish, which big fish aren't afraid of anything really, especially if you're dragging it through their bed, which is what I've been doing to catch the big fish. Folks, let the shooting begin. My new fly I'm going to use. Double bead chain. Supposed to look like a shad. Let's get down there where them white birds are. Disturb them. Because we're definitely going to disturb them. A bunch of birds, but I'm going to fish from the top to the bottom. First with this thing to try to catch these little bass that are up in here. And then further down, I'll switch to stuff that might work on the big bass or the big brim, or both. I got some new squirmy wormies to test, some white ones, some amazes me how clear this water is. Look at all those bait fish. Wow. Those do not. Some of those look like shad. I need to get a cast net and catch some of these things when I see them. Just because I need to more closely match the hatch. There's just good sized schools of that fish right there, and I don't think that's a shad. That's some other kind of river minnow. They're just streaming through here. That's what these fish are feeding on, I'll bet. I'm gonna do things a little different this time. Come on, Goof. Come on. Here it comes. Oh, he turned away from it. Oh, that's not a good sign at all. He saw that fly and he turned away from it. Wow. That's not good. He doesn't like my fly. Oh boy. Man alive, that fish did turn completely away from it. That's not good. That goo's right back in the same spot. Here he comes. Here he comes. Come on, take it. Come on. Oh my God. Fish followed it all the way up, didn't want it. Oh boy. Very disappointed. This didn't get the action I thought it would. Let me see what else might work. My latest squirmy wormy. That looks good, doesn't it? Let's see what the fish think. Gotta be able to see them. Otherwise, I'm just doing this blind. I got several nice fish right in front of me. They do not think this is something to eat. Hell, I'll look at that and think it's something to eat. Where'd they go? Yeah, I got his interest finally. Where'd you go, bud? Is that you right there? Was that? Ooh, that's a big bass. I thought it was a... there he is. Oh boy. First fish today is a good one. Oh, lazy as hell though. Oh, here we go. Here we go. First fish of the day. Holy smokes, on a popper. I thought that gar came after it. It was a big old bass. A very depleted bass, but a bass. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that fish is way lighter than it should be. That's skinny. He's not doing too well. But that's the first fish. Qualifies as a big fish long enough. Boy, he is skinny. Skinny, skinny, skinny. The big mouth. What's he got down there? What's he got in his mouth? What is that? He's got a crab in him. Let me show you this crab. Way down there, it's a crab. Holy crap. Those crabs we have down here. Looks like a little horseshoe crab or something. This fish also has... That crab was sitting right in that thing's throat. Maybe that's why he'd been so thick. So, so thin. He's also got a half-digested minnow in his gut. Wow, that's crazy. It's a cool-looking little dude, isn't it? That fish go. All right, wake up. Come on. Come on. There you go. You're going to be all right, aren't you? I mean, hell, that's a 18, 19, 20-inch fish. Oh, yeah, he figured it out. Or she. That crab. I wonder if that crab is still alive. I kind of think not. Let's see. He looks like... that's the second one of those crabs I've found. And now that I know what they look like, they're probably all over in here. You just can't see them until you seine them up or whatever. I'll bet that's what those carp are eating for the most part. Wow. That's a way you start a trip. I just don't know why I hesitate to use poppers. I just had another little bass take a whack at it. Check my fly. I see that bass too. He's right back in that hole. They're all hanging out near these weeds. Right where they ought to be, I guess. Look at that big old carp. These things are 2.5 feet long. They don't take poppers, so. And I don't really want to mess with one of those fish that big. And this goop, man, as soon as they drove into it, it'd be gone. Oh, look at him. He turned on my popper. What the heck? Look at that fish, man. A big and strong one just took a nosedive. He's taking a nap, I think. He woke up. Wow. Volunteer. There's a jumper. Oh, that's a smallmouth. Look at that. Smallmouth had come back up here. That is a smallmouth bass. With definitely emphasis on the smallmouth. Look at that. A little bronzy. It is so much fun when both the black bass, spotted bass, and the smallmouth are all in the same location. Tell me that water temperature is just about perfect for all three. A dozen big carp right in front of me. Headed this way, and they're all feeding. Wow. A little gar. It's odd, but they must not be able to see me on a day like today. It's hard not to drop these bass and go for something big like that. I bet that fish is 20 pounds, maybe more. Coming right toward me. Go on in front of them. Wow. They finally turned. German carp. Common fish in the river. Come back toward me again. Oh boy, I found the big sunfish. Oh my God, big is an understatement. Wow. A big, giant size red ear. Oh, come here, dude. Oh, look at the size of these things. Even though I think I snagged him. That's what I was seeing. I thought it was a smallmouth. It's not a smallmouth. It's a giant size red ear. Oh, and this is why I come up here. Look at that fish. There's a whole bed of them. Easy to fool, but they're big. These are some serious red ears. God, they don't look that big in the water. Boy, they can sure fight. Of course, when they're that big, kind of expect them to fight hard. Look at that fish. Good night. That one the right way. Fish go back that bed. There's a bunch of them over there. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 beds that I can see. And they're all a nice casting distance. The only problem is this filamentous algae floating on the surface makes it interesting casting. Let's get back out there and get my squirmy wormy. That was funny. That fish knew I was here too. But he decided to take a taste of a squirmy wormy crayfish looking thing. Wormy, squirmy, wormy crayfish looking thing. And they're bass. You know, if they don't see me or react to me, they'll come and get this thing. And they'll take a taste. And it seems to be partly because you don't move it. It just sinks, gets to the bottom, and they pick it up. Or on its way to the bottom. Well, this algae's a pain in the ass. Cover up their eyes and they'll quit fighting. There you go. I didn't see the fish, but I saw what looked like a bed. And there's another, well, there's a long ear. Or a red breast, I think it is. Even though it's got a really long ear. I think it's actually a red breast. This stuff is horrible. Look at that little fishy. Nice sized fish, huh? A big gar, a big goo, big one. Dropped it right in front of his face and he picked it up. Oh yeah, this is a big one. This is a big goo. Oh, he's gonna get messed up in this stuff. Oh, this is a real big goo. Oh, don't you know this is so fun? Oh, he got loose. He got loose. That was a big one too. Wow. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Big old sunfish right there. I can see him. Let's see what happens if I drop one in his bed. Come on, fish. Come on and get it. There he is. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's so fun. Side fishing fish. Side fishing. This is a big one too. It's a big old red ear. This is a whopper. Now you can tell where the line's going because it's got a bunch of algae on it. Ooh, doggy. Come on, fish. Come on. You give up. Come on, give it up. I'm sorry you can't see him. Oh my Lord, this is a big one. This is a big one. This is one of them big fish. Tell you what, a mess of these would sure make a heck of a meal. Goodbye. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being a big fish. See that? Millions of little fry, little baby fishes. Boy, it's gonna be hard to keep the crap off of this one. Golly. This is the toughest part. Worked on this fish for 20 minutes. Get out of there, bud. Oh, it's bigger than I thought it was too. And that means that other fish I see, there's 4 fish in here. This was apparently about the smallest of 3. There's a much bigger bass right over there. Oh my God, it's huge. Let me get this one off. A nice bass. Approaching 4 pounds, I'd say. And there's one right there. I don't know if you can see that dark spot. That fish is closer to 10, I think. It is a huge bass. Let me see if I can't catch it. Being a big fish of the day so far, bud. That one's gone out there. He'll be right back on his bed in a minute. That fish right there, it is huge. I know you probably can't see it. I can barely see it moving through there. It is a big bass. I can see the big one right underneath that log. Just sitting there watching this fly invade its bed. Then eventually I can aggravate it into biting. Literally all up in this stuff, hugging this shoreline on beds. I'd catch that 10-pounder, but I'm kind of running out of time. Big old carp. Picked out a big bass hanging behind this rock. Wow. He waited until I got right here. He was laying right underneath this stuff. Good to know. Got some logs out there, you got these rocks, you got lots of crevices, lots of places to hide. Never would have seen that fish. Had to kick him out. Well, look at that. Alright folks, I'm just going to walk straight back. I've done very well today. More like what I expect. 3 big sunfish, 4 big sunfish I think. A few small bass, a big bass. I had on a great big Gaspergoo. I saw the bass and I changed to the right fly to catch them, but I didn't. I did catch one. There are some tremendously large bass in here, and if I had more time, didn't live so far away, I'd spend more time on these fish up here. They're garden beds. It was funny, that one right in this muck. Right in here. He'd gotten way back up in here. Might have been hunting. Doesn't look like a place I'd make my bed, but I'm not a bass, so I don't know. I know it stinks like mad when you walk through here. Boy, it'd be nice when they get to running that water again. It does a cleanse. It's like a flush. All right, well, I'm just gonna boogie all the way back. Look at all the dragonflies. Damselflies, I think. They're laying eggs. Like everything else. Sunfish are on the beds. I had one take a whack at this big giant hair bug, rabbit strip, zonkered thing. That was the right choice, let me tell you. This time I took my time coming down here. I fished every spot thoroughly. I sight fished quite a bit. For the bass anyway. Actually, for everything I caught, I was sight fishing, except for one. The sunfish came up and got it. I just was shotgunning that. Kind of looking for fossils. This place is loaded with them. Shells mostly. Just gotta look close. The wind quit blowing. You can see bass all over in this water. Every 25 feet there's a couple more. Little ones. Lots of little ones. Nice trip. Started out with a bang and ended with a bang. Started with a big bass, ended with a big bass. How about that? And caught some nice sunfish in the middle. Had one good big Gasper goo on. I could have concentrated on the sunfish and the goo and the carp, but at my very heart, I'm a bass fisherman. I've always fished for bass. I always turn back to it anyway. Buzzard, turkey vulture. Woo, back in front of me. He dived on me. Good thing he didn't poop on me. Their poop will eat the paint off the truck. Okay, look at that little bird. Good night. Alright, thanks for watching. Y'all be good. We'll see you next Wednesday, if not sooner. Bye. Bright sunlight.